Honestly, he was the teacher for me that I strive to be every single day for my own students. There is no how-to guide for teaching, and honestly, we're all just kind of winging it. So long story short, if you tell someone you want to be a teacher and they respond by saying that teachers don't make a lot of money, you can tell them that's bullcrap. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to the last video I will ever film here in my apartment. So the lovely Megan from Too Cool for Middle School started this ITEACHTOO tag and I am jumping on the opportunity to participate. Partially because I think she's an amazing person and teacher and YouTuber, and partially because my options are really limited right now and my entire life is packed up in boxes. So there are 11 questions related to teaching that I'm going to be answering, and I thought this was the perfect way for any of my newer subscribers to get to know me a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the questions because I tend to ramble a lot and I have a feeling this video is going to be really long. Question number 1, what do you teach and where? Currently, I teach nowhere. Up until this point, I have been teaching 2nd grade on the eastern shore of Maryland, about 30 minutes from the ocean. It is the only grade I've ever taught and is definitely my favorite grade to teach. My classroom was self-contained, so I taught my students all of the subject areas. I taught ELA, which is English Language Arts, and that includes reading, writing, and language or grammar. I taught math, I taught spelling, I taught science, and I taught social studies. Now, anyone who watches my weekly vlogs knows that I'm in the process of moving. I'm actually moving this Friday, July the 7th, not ready for it at all, and I'm moving to the western shore of Maryland, and I'm gonna be about 25 minutes from Washington, D.C. So currently, I am technically jobless because I have interviewed with the county I'm gonna be living in. However, most of the hiring process doesn't really take place until mid-July. So once we get moved and over there and we get settled, I will be personally hand delivering my resume to every school nearby. Question number 2, how long have you been teaching? I just finished up my 3rd year of teaching, so I am still a relatively new teacher, and honestly the past 3 years have flown by, so there are still times where I feel like a brand new teacher. Question number 3, did you always know you wanted to be a teacher? So the simple answer to that is yes. I can distinctly remember sitting in school when I was in 2nd grade and deciding that I wanted to be a teacher. I was always holding school on my porch for all the neighborhood kids on the weekends and during the summer, and I was serious about it. I had an easel with a dry erase board on one side and a chalkboard on the other side. I printed off worksheets from the internet, and I even assigned the kids homework that I would check the next day. I remember creating my own spreadsheet just on a piece of paper by drawing lines, and I remember using it to mark attendance and track behavior. Like, my school was no joke. Obviously, I was obsessed with all of like the details of teaching, but I also remember thinking that teaching would be a really easy job because you have a teacher's manual and it has all the answers in it. Yeah, no. But growing up, I told everyone I was gonna be a teacher and I was never gonna change my mind. I will say there is only one other career path that I ever considered and actually almost pursued, and it's really ironic now that I think back on it. So story time, when I was a junior in high school, I ended up in a marketing class because there was nothing else available and I knew nothing about marketing or business going into it. But I ended up loving it. Probably more than I had loved any other class in high school, besides math. Like, AP Calculus was my jam. But I took this marketing class and completely fell in love with it. So I ended up signing up for more like marketing / business type courses in the semesters to come. So I took Marketing 1, Marketing 2, Business Management, Business Finance, Business Law, and Graphic Design. Graphic Design was one of the last classes that I took my senior year of high school, and again, I loved it. I remember learning about fonts and how to use Photoshop and Illustrator, and I was obsessed. Somehow I ended up taking a total of 9 business-related courses, which apparently was the most out of everyone in my graduating class, so I actually got the Business Student of the Year award when I graduated high school, which I thought was completely silly because I was going into education, I was going to be a teacher, I was doing nothing related to business. Now, fast forward 3 years of college and 3 years of teaching, and here I am owning my own business and designing digital products. So this is what I mean when I say that I think everything happens for a reason. I honestly can't even express to you guys how genuinely happy I am that I found a way to meld these two like incredible passions of mine, teaching and graphic design / business. So when people say, do what makes you happy and turn your passion into a career, like, this is it for me. I honestly can't imagine doing anything else, and every day I'm literally living my dream come true because I get to live my passion. So long story short, if you tell someone you want to be a teacher and they respond by saying that teachers don't make a lot of money, you can tell them that's bullcrap. Question number 4, what is your typical teacher outfit of the day? My typical teacher outfit of the day is whatever happens to be clean. I'm totally kidding for the most part. But you guys know I am a very simple person and my fashion sense tends to be the same way. I am the type of person where if I find a shirt that I like, I will buy it in like 5 different colors. I really like clothing pieces that are simple and basic and can be paired together in a ton of different ways. I would say my typical teacher outfit of the day is a maxi skirt with some kind of a solid t-shirt or tank top paired with a cardigan. Billy has actually banned me from buying any more cardigans because I probably own close to 20. But I really like to be comfortable, hence why I wear a lot of maxi skirts because they're really just an excuse not to wear pants. For shoes, I have mentioned that I really like to be barefoot, so honestly I wear a lot of sandals and flats that I can take off easily. I will wear sandals even in the middle of winter because I just don't like feeling like my feet are enclosed. I will wear boots in the winter if it's really icy or snowy, but the problem is I have massive calves. Like, I was a runner for years. I will insert a picture of me from high school track so you guys can see what I'm talking about, and most boots are way too tight around my calves. Therefore, they are uncomfortable. So again, sandals or flats. Question number 5, what do you usually bring for lunch? Okay, one thing you guys need to know about me is no matter what I do, I am either 0 or 100. Like, there is no in between for me. So I'm either gonna put in 100% effort and I'm gonna do something the best it has ever been done, or I'm gonna put in 0 effort and I couldn't care less. This also applies to my lunch. I go through periods where I am completely on point and I will meal prep all of my lunches for the entire week. I have containers that are divided up and I'll cook chicken and I'll cook vegetables and I will pack all of my lunches for the whole week and I am a model for healthy eating. Then I also go through periods where I will literally just grab anything from my pantry that isn't expired and throw it in my purse. Like, not even a lunchbox. I am not proud to say this, but honestly the last like 3 months of the past school year were like that because #real-life, I got busy and I got overwhelmed and grocery shopping and meal prepping were the last things on my mind. I am human just like everyone else, and I promise, as much as it looks like I have my life together on social media, there are aspects of my life that I'm slacking on. That being said, I will go ahead and list a couple of things that are my go-tos for lunch, and I'm gonna list things that require no prep whatsoever because we are teachers, we are busy, especially those of you who have families. Like, I honestly have no idea how you do it. Now, I personally participate in something called flexible dieting, so I essentially track my macronutrients, which are carbs, proteins, and fats, and I have a daily goal that I try to hit. Now, my macronutrient goals change depending on my current fitness goals, and I can dive deeper into this at another time, but basically, I don't really believe in good foods or bad foods, and I don't ever restrict myself. No foods are off limits, and if I want a specific food, I will find a way to make it fit into my macros for that day or that week. So one of my favorite things to pack for lunch are tuna packs or tuna kits. Starkist makes these flavored tuna packets that are delicious to eat on their own, and they're a great source of protein, but they also make kits where you actually mix the tuna and the mayo and the relish, and it comes with crackers on the side. I love that those don't have to be refrigerated, so you can actually keep a few in your desk just in case. I also love single serving size packets of almonds, which are a great source of fats. I also love to pack cottage cheese or Greek yogurt. Now, cottage cheese has a ton of protein in it. Greek yogurt has a fair amount too, but it can also have a lot of carbs, especially if you get one of the flavored kinds, but that is great for dessert. I also will take a bag of baby carrots because those are one of the few vegetables I can actually eat on their own. Plus, I love that they are easy to pack because you don't have to cut anything up. I'm gonna be doing an entire video on teacher lunch ideas. It's on my list, I promise. Question number 6, what is one of your favorite books about teaching? I am a huge Ron Clark fan, so literally any of his books. I think my personal favorite is The Essential 55. I highly recommend teachers read that book, especially if you are a new teacher. I will link it for you guys down below. I also really love the Chicken Soup for the Soul books, and they have quite a few related to teaching. I will link those for you down below as well. But I feel like one of the things that teachers need most is inspiration, especially in the middle of the school year. So I recommend every teacher has one of those books. Keep it on a shelf, that way you can open it up and read it whenever you need a breath of fresh air. Question number 7, what is one of your favorite teacher movies? School of Rock. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna be cliche here and pick a Hallmark movie. My favorite teacher movie is called Front of the Class. It came out back in like 2008, and I remember seeing previews on TV, and I literally marked it on my calendar so I didn't miss it because, again, I was obsessed with teaching. The movie is based on the true story of Brad Cohen, who is a man living with severe Tourette syndrome, and the movie basically surrounds how he is able to overcome those challenges and become a teacher. If you ever have spare time, I highly recommend watching it. It's definitely a heartwarming movie movie. You might even be able to find it on YouTube. Question number 8, who was your favorite teacher? This is an easy one. By far, my favorite teacher was my 2nd grade teacher, Mr. PELAN. He honestly is one of the main reasons I wanted to become a teacher because I don't think I ever enjoyed school as much as I did that year. Like I said, I remember sitting in 2nd grade and deciding I wanted to be a teacher and never changing my mind. He was so engaging just with who he was as a person, but also his teaching style. He had an entire wall of like wacky hats, he had puppets, he wore these crazy Hawaiian shirts all the time, he played guitar pretty much every day, and he was good. He actually has a YouTube video of him playing a Christmas song on the ukulele, so I will link it for you down in the description box so you can see exactly what I mean. Literally everything I do in my classroom for student engagement is inspired by him. The fact that he was so engaging is the reason I remember so much from that school year. Like, I literally remember him teaching specific lessons, and that was 16, almost 17 years ago. I remember his exact behavior incentive system. He had a chart on the wall and we were able to earn PELAN points, and then every 25 PELAN points we would get a prize. I can still remember the first kid to get a prize. His name was Alex, and we walked in the morning and on his desk was like this shell made out of aluminum foil, and it had a pearl on the inside that I think was also made out of aluminum foil, but I was so jealous over him for getting that first. At the end of the year, he gave us each a cassette tape because yes, this was back when cassette tapes were still around, and he had recorded all of the songs that he sang us throughout the year, and I still have it to this day. I remember him teaching us some sign language, and that is the reason that I still use sign language in my classroom today. I remember he would draw these little doodles in response to all of our journal writings, and I would go home and I would try to copy the exact doodle because I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Like I said, he played guitar every day, and he would invite us to his shows because he played at this local restaurant called the Jetty, and because of him I got a guitar when I was 11 or 12 and taught myself to play. I thought so highly of him because I could tell how much effort he put into his teaching, and that made me want to put in more effort as a student. And I know around that time in my schooling I was really struggling with reading. Like, looking back on it, I was definitely involved in a reading intervention program and didn't realize it, but he made me want to do better and improve. Honestly, he was the teacher for me that I strive to be every single day for my own students, because if I can ever make one of my students feel the same way that I felt about learning, then it's all worth it. And Mr. PELAN, if you are ever watching this, I definitely cheated on a spelling test in 2nd grade, and I felt guilty about it ever since, so I'm sorry. Question number 9, who are some of your favorite teacher YouTubers, Instagrammers, Snapchatters, etc.? Okay, feel free to hate me for this, but I'm gonna be completely honest here. I really don't watch a lot of other teacher YouTubers. Because I am still new to the YouTube world, like I haven't even been putting out content for a year yet, I don't want to be too heavily influenced by anyone else, if that makes sense. It's kind of like when you're around someone a lot and you start to pick up on their mannerisms, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, Billy and I literally finish each other's sentences because we're around each other so much. But I want to make sure my channel represents me 100%, so honestly, I'm just kind of doing my own thing, and I listen to feedback in the comments, and I'm developing my channel from there. Plus, when I watch YouTube, I honestly use it as like my one escape from teaching. So much of my life surrounds teaching that honestly, when I watch YouTube, I kind of want it to be about anything else. So I mostly watch fitness YouTubers because that is another big passion of mine. Now, Instagram is a completely different story. There honestly are so many amazing teachers on there that I follow, and I can't even list them all. If you go to my Instagram and look at who I am following, I recommend all those people. I will say that I have a major teacher crush on Hope King. Her Instagram handle is Elementary Shenanigans, and she has teacher goals in every way. I also love Meg from Meg's Crayons. She is just so genuine and real, and obviously I respect that so much. I totally stalked her at the TPT conference last year so I could get a picture with her. I also have a major teacher crush on Jen Jones from Hello Literacy, but I think her Instagram handle is Hello Jen Jones. But she is such a positive person, and she just has such a bright and refreshing personality that is so needed in the world. I also recommend Courtney from Ramona Recommends. She has the most amazing picture book collection I've ever seen, and she's always introducing new books on her posts and Instagram stories. But there are literally so many that I could probably go on for an hour, and I think my camera would have a fit. Question number 10, what is one of your best classroom management tips? One of my best classroom management tips is to go into the school year with a plan and stick to it. Now that doesn't mean that you can't change things along the way that aren't working, but you have to go into the school year with your classroom management plan as complete as possible. I'm sure you all have heard a million times that consistency is key for classroom management, and that is 100% true. The problem is you can't be consistent if you don't already know what your plan is. So if you are a new teacher or even a teacher that struggles with classroom management, I recommend you take a day, even a couple of days if you need it, sit down and document every aspect of your classroom management plan. I can do a full video on this because I know it seems overwhelming, and honestly at first it is overwhelming because it's a lot. But having a plan and knowing how you're going to handle certain situations will make it that much easier for you to stay consistent. Obviously, there will be things that come up that you hadn't thought about, and that's okay. That's how you gain experience, and that's how you're going to learn and grow as a teacher. There is no how-to guide for teaching, and honestly, we're all just kind of winging it and figuring it out as we go. But don't go into the school year blind. Make a classroom management plan, consistently stick to it, make small adjustments when needed, and then improve it the next year. Question number 11, what is one reason you decided to become a teacher? Again, this goes back to my second grade teacher, Mr. PELAN. He honestly just influenced me in so many ways, and he taught me that learning could be fun, and I thought he was the coolest person in the world and had the coolest job, and I knew I wanted to be that. He is the perfect representation of all of those little things you do as a teacher that you have no idea are impacting your students. My sincere hope is that everyone has a teacher like him at some point in their lives, and I want to strive to be that for as many students as I can. That is all of the questions, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so it can reach more teachers. Thank you to Megan for creating this tag. I had so much fun filming it, and if you are a teacher and you are also on YouTube, I recommend you participate. I will leave all of the questions for you down in the description box. My next video will go live this Saturday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it will be my weekly vlog, which will document most of my moving process. As always, thank you for watching. I love you all so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end and for supporting my YouTube channel. If you want to check out any of my older videos, you can use the 2 links right down here. If you want to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future videos, you can use the link right up here. The links to all of my social media sites, my Teachers Pay Teacher store, and my Amazon store are down in the description box for you, and I will catch you guys in the next one.